race session is at Sebring International Raceway in Sebring, USA. Ted Hawk from United States is P1. James Pendry from England is second. Kevin Woodward from Canada is P3. Riley Gallardo from United States is fourth. Walter Phillips from United States is P5. Panzeref 1 is P6. Simran Thakkar from Canada is 7th. Gordon Jacobson from United States is 8th. Louis J. Magalang from Philippines is 9th. Ted Hawk is first.
Let's go racing, boys!
Ted Hawk is now P4. Panzeref 1 is P5. Simran Thakkar is 7th. Simran Thakkar passed Walter Phillips for P6. Walter Phillips is 8th. Walter Phillips is now 6th. Kevin Woodward is 4th. Louis J. Magalang in Collier is P7. Kevin Woodward is 4th. Gordon Jacobson is P10. Panzeref 1 is 5th, 1.0 behind Kevin Woodward. Gordon Jacobson is 10th, 0.2 behind Simran Thakkar. Simran Thakkar in Big Bend is 8th, battling Panzeref 1. Simran Thakkar is now P7. Gordon Jacobson is 8th, 0.5 behind Simran Thakkar. Kevin Woodward is P4, 1.0 behind Riley Gallardo. Gordon Jacobson is 8th, 0.5 behind Simran Thakkar. Gordon Jacobson passed Simran Thakur for 7. Ted Hoff is P2, 0.9 behind James Pendry. Panzer F1 is 10th, 1.2 behind Jen Markov. Jen Markov from Canada is P10 battling Panzer F1. Simran Thakur in hairpin is P8, 0.1 behind Gordon Jacobson. Simran Thakur passed Gordon Jacobson for P7. Gordon Jacobson is P8, 0.2 behind Simran Thakur. Gordon Jacobson passed Simran Thakur for P7. Simran Thakur in Collier is P9. Ted Hoff is P2, 0.8 behind James Pendry. Simran Thakur in Sunset Beat is P9, 0.8 behind Panzer F1. Ted Hoff in Fangio is second, 1.3 behind James Pendry. Gordon Jacobson in hairpin is 7th. Best lap is a 2:09.694. Simran Thakur is P9, 0.4 behind Panzer F1. Gordon Jacobson on lap 4 is 7th, 0.5 behind Louis J. Magalang. Panzer F1 is P8, 0.5 behind Gordon Jacobson. Gordon Jacobson in Ullman Straight is P7, 0.2 behind Louis J. Magalang. Gordon Jacobson passed Louis J. Magalang for 6th. Panzer F1 in Sunset Beat is P8. Panzer F1 passed Louis J. Magalang for P7. Simran Thakur is P8 battling Louis J. Magalang. Simran Thakur lost P8 to Louis J. Magalang. Panzer F1 is 7th, 0.4 behind Gordon Jacobson. Simran Takhar is 9th, 0.1 behind Louis J. Magalang. Simran Takhar passed Louis J. Magalang for P8. Louis J. Magalang in Fangio is 9th. Gordon Jacobson in Collier is P7, 0.3 behind Panzer F1. Simran Takhar is 7th, 0.3 behind Gordon Jacobson. Ted Hoff is P2, 0.8 behind James Pendry. Panzer F1 in Sunset Beat is 8th, 0.5 behind Simran Takhar. Panzer F1 passed Simran Takhar for 7th. Ted Hoff is 2nd, 0.3 behind James Pendry. Panzer F1 in Big Bend is 7th. Ted Hoff is 2nd, 0.4 behind James Pendry. Jen Markov entering the pits is 10th. Panzer F1 in Tower is P7, 1.3 behind Gordon Jacobson. Ted Hoff is P2, 0.4 behind James Pendry. Jen Markov exiting pits. Panzer F1 in Sunset Beat is 7th, 1.0 behind Gordon Jacobson. Ted Hoff is 2nd, 0.3 behind James Pendry. Panzer F1 is P7, 0.5 behind Gordon Jacobson. Ted Hoff is P2, 0.2 behind James Pendry. Ted Hoff passed James Pendry for first. Panzer F1 is P7, 0.3 behind Gordon Jacobson. Gordon Jacobson is 6th, 0.3 ahead of Panzer F1. Panzer F1 is 7th. James Pendry in hairpin is P2, 4.2 behind Ted Hoff. Panzer F1 on lap 8 is 7th, 0.5 behind Gordon Jacobson. Ted Hoff is 1st. Gordon Jacobson in Fangio is 7th, 0.3 behind Panzer F1. Panzer F1 is 7th, 0.2 behind Gordon Jacobson. Walter Phillips on lap 8 is P5. Panzer F1 is P7, 0.7 behind Gordon Jacobson. Simran Thakkar is P8, 5.0 behind Panzer F1. Panzer F1 is P7, 0.5 behind Gordon Jacobson. Ted Hoff in Sunset Beat is 1st. Panzer F1 in Collier is 7th, 0.2 behind Gordon Jacobson. Riley Gallardo is 3rd. Panzer F1 in Ullman Straight is 7th, 0.5 behind Gordon Jacobson. Gordon Jacobson is P6, 0.3 ahead of Panzer F1. Panzer F1 was 128.0 faster last lap. Gordon Jacobson lost 6th to Panzer F1. Riley Gallardo is 3rd. Gordon Jacobson in hairpin is P7. Best lap is a 2:06.722. Gordon Jacobson passed Panzer F1 for P6. Panzer F1 in Collier is 7th, 4.7 behind Gordon Jacobson. Ted Hoff is P1. Panzer F1 in Sunset Beat is P7, 3.5 behind Gordon Jacobson. Walter Phillips is 5th. Panzer F1 on lap 11 is 7th, 2.6 behind Gordon Jacobson. Louis J. Magalang is P9. Panzer F1 is P7, 1.7 behind Gordon Jacobson. James Pendry is 2nd. Panzer F1 is 7th, 1.2 behind Gordon Jacobson. Riley Gallardo in Le Mans on lap 12 is P3. Panzer F1 is 7. Louis J. Magalang is P9. Panzer F1 in Ullman Strait is 7, 0.3 behind Gordon Jacobson. Gordon Jacobson is P6, 0.4 ahead of Panzer F1. Panzer F1 was 126.6 faster last lap. Panzer F1 is 7, 0.4 behind Gordon Jacobson. Kevin Woodward in Le Mans is 4th, 4.7 behind Riley Gallardo. Panzer F1 is P7, 0.3 behind Gordon Jacobson. Kevin Woodward is P4, 4.7 behind Riley Gallardo. Panzer F1 in Le Mans is P7, 0.4 behind Gordon Jacobson. Gordon Jacobson is 6th, 0.1 ahead of Panzer F1. Panzer F1 is 7th, 0.3 behind Gordon Jacobson. James Pendry from England is P2. Gordon Jacobson in Fangio on lap 14 is P7, 0.1 behind Panzer F1. Panzer F1 was 127.0 faster last lap. Walter Phillips is 5th. Gordon Jacobson is P7, 0.3 behind Panzer F1. Panzer F1 in Sunset Beat on lap 14 is P6, 0.5 ahead of Gordon Jacobson. Gordon Jacobson is P7, 0.8 behind Panzer F1. Panzer F1 on lap 15 is 6th, 1.1 ahead of Gordon Jacobson. Gordon Jacobson is 7th, 1.3 behind Panzer F1. Panzer F1 is P6, 1.2 ahead of Gordon Jacobson. Gordon Jacobson in Sunset Beat is 7th, 1.6 behind Panzer F1. Panzer F1 is P6, 0.8 behind Walter Phillips. Gordon Jacobson is 7th, 0.9 behind Panzer F1. Panzer F1 is 6th, 0.2 behind Walter Phillips. Panzer F1 is now 5th. Gordon Jacobson is 6th, 1.9 behind Panzer F1. James Pendry is 2nd, 3.9 behind Ted Hoff. Gordon Jacobson is 6th, 2.2 behind Panzer F1. Kevin Woodward in Bishop is 4th, 3.6 behind Riley Gallardo. Gordon Jacobson in Fangio is P6, 4.9 ahead of Walter Phillips. Kevin Woodward is 4th, 3.5 behind Riley Gallardo. Gordon Jacobson is 6th, 3.2 behind Panzer F1. Kevin Woodward in Cunningham is 4th, 2.9 behind Riley Gallardo. Walter Phillips from United States is P7, 3.0 behind Gordon Jacobson. Kevin Woodward is 4th. Gordon Jacobson is 6th, 4.1 behind Panzer F1. Kevin Woodward is P4, 2.8 behind Riley Gallardo. Walter Phillips in Sunset Beat is P7, 3.5 behind Gordon Jacobson. Kevin Woodward is 4th, 2.2 behind Riley Gallardo. Walter Phillips is P7, 3.1 behind Gordon Jacobson. Kevin Woodward is P4, 3.8 behind Riley Gallardo. Walter Phillips is 7th, 2.5 behind Gordon Jacobson. Kevin Woodward from Canada in Cunningham is P4, 3.9 behind Riley Gallardo. The leader has just finished the race. Ted Hoff finished first. Simran Thakkar finished P8. James Pendry finished P2. Riley Gallardo is P3. Riley Gallardo finished P3. Kevin Woodward finished P4. Louis J. Magalang is 9th. Louis J. Magalang finished 9th. Panzer F1 is P5. Panzer F1 finished P5. Gordon Jacobson finished P6. Walter Phillips finished P7. Jen Markov finished 10th.